and, got whistled at and all, that how it is. It's like, if you developed early, it's like, well, ooh, I guess childhood's over. There's that huge thing that happens to young girls who develop early. And that's a big reason why I opened the store. There was something that clicked in me, apart from the fact like, ooh, I got to change the way I look. I've got to change my my archetype because it's not working with the boobs. And I was like, okay, what I want to be is strong and powerful. And hiding my chest and being ashamed, they're the ones who should be ashamed of themselves. The guys who whistle at me. And I was like, I am playing into them by hiding myself.
Welcome, Jenette.
Hi.
Hi. I'm so glad you're here. You are one of the people I've been wanting to have in the studio for a long time, actually, because when did you open the first Jenette Bras?
Oh, my God. It was April 28th, 2009.
Okay.
So we're in our 15th year.
So fantastic. I remember, because I don't remember how I found out about you, but I was beside myself with glee that there was a store specifically for the alphabet starts at D, for us large-breasted ladies to actually have beautiful...
Right.
Beautiful, like not just our grandmother's bras to wear. Mm-hmm. Because there was a bra, by the way, when I was a teenager. Uh-huh. It's the walk hole one that we've all had.
Notori walk hole.
It's the walk hole one we've all had, which is lovely. It's fine, and now they've made it in so many more colors. Mm-hmm. But back then, my grandmother asked me to help her with her bra because she was having trouble reaching behind her to fasten it, and I taught her how to fasten it in the front. Kind of turn it around, right?
Right.
So she could do it herself. But I realized your bra is the same as my bra, Grandma. And I was like 16.
Oh, my God.
I know. And so I thought, I'm wearing a grandma bra.
Exactly.
So in any case, I just was super, super selfishly excited when you came onto the bra scene. And you were not always...
Well, opening it was super selfish because I needed to find a bra.
I mean, was that the
absolutely
inspiration?
Well, absolutely. I mean, I am an actress, and I always wanted to be one and trained, and was having a career. And I developed early. I was taken to, I remember, I think around 12, I think a neighbor said to my mother, maybe I was like hopscotching or something, said, I think you should take Jenette to, you're so embarrassed.
Oh, gosh.
Anyway, so they took me to Ida's corset and foundation shop on Pico. It was next to a kosher butcher. Distinctly remember that. Very sexy. Very. And I thought, and yet quite appropriate.
Oh my gosh.
And I remember, it's so funny, I have this image. I remember walking in and then looking at the counter, and above the counter were mastectomy bras.
Oh, wow.
And I remember the curtains. I remember the lady, that you go in there and then she, the curtain whips open, bend over, darling. Yeah. She does the whole thing. And I was like, oh,
stuff yourself in there.
I know. Yeah. Like, oh, well, yeah, no, actually they didn't. They tucked you in there.
Right.
And it was which is, it's a way of doing it. But I don't remember. Then I think I probably like blanked it all out, because all I wanted to do was to go to the mall to, I guess the new Victoria's Secret and, be cool and be fun. So, yeah, no, it always was this issue with me. And specifically, it was like small band, large cup.
Yep.
And, you don't understand what band and cup, and most women don't, but, you go into the store. I went to whatever, Bullock's or something, and you're looking at, okay, I'll put on a 32, not a B, not a C, 32D, okay. Or no, was it? And you're falling out of it, so you're looking for a double D, and then it's 40 double D, and then it's like falling down to your waist. Mm-hmm. And you're just like, okay, well, there must be something wrong with me, because this is the bra department. Mm-hmm. I mean, we all know that. It's, it's got to be me, that my body's wrong or whatever. So, Yeah, no, it always was a struggle.
And did you, so when you opened, that's a huge commitment. I mean, to open a brick and mortar.
Oh, yeah.
And so there's your personal story of what, that side of the inspiration, but to actually, like, did you know what you were getting into? Oh,
Absolutely not.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, my partner is my husband, and he is a fine artist. I mean, we both come from. It's very funny. Our grandparents were shopkeepers. Like mine. I had one of my paternal grandfather owned a delicatessen. I am the classic Jewish story. A delicatessen.
Yeah.
That delis all over the South Bronx, and then my other grandfather owned like the corner store, the Bits and Bobs store, and they never made any money. They worked to the bone. My grandfather would fall asleep in his chair because he'd pick us up, and they say, "Don't bother. He's got to be up at 4 for the bread man." That was always
The bread man.
yeah, at 4. Don't bother him. And it was like, oh my God. And so, of course, then, our parents became sort of like professionals, doctor, the thing. And then, so yeah, that was the idea of business. And then we became artists. I mean, I guess that's the progression, right?
Yeah.
Of the immigrant story. So we took to it as an art project. Because our art at this point in our careers, my husband had, successful to a point, but you're still a starving artist. And my career, I was at this point in my 40s, which I knew as a woman, depending on how you age, there was going to be this big gap. And I was writing and directing and teaching, doing the usual things that you do as a performer to sort of, that gap. And this came this was a complete out of the blue left field. We call it Plan Double D.
Plan Double D. Exactly. And, one of the things I remember I was so impressed by is the experience of your store, right? It's not like your average, it's not Ida's, right?
It's she retired. I think she moved to Vegas.
Okay. Interesting.
So I heard, yeah.
All right. But yours is this, it's a sensual experience. And I remember the first time I went there, it had to have been 2010 when I discovered you. So, because I remember I went with my boyfriend / partner at the time.
I remember.
And it was the shop, because it was the first shop on Melrose.
Right.
And he got to come and sit in the sort of back area where you go try things on. And I thought, what a cool, like, sexy but not raunchy.
Right.
It's like a very classy, hey, you can check out the bra and have this fun and still feel like, I don't know, there was an elegance to it, like an elegant sexy. And I'm all about the whole like elegant, slutty, sexy situation.
Yeah. I mean, elegance in any situation. I mean, it's interesting. So because we do have the front area where the man, the partner, can sit. We call it the man chair, the couch. And when there is no one else in the fitting salon area,
right?
Like there was a time we can, if the woman so wants it, you can invite the gentleman in, because there's a chair in there. We call that we call it the mother chair sometimes. To be there, because the whole experience.
Yeah.
And we did not, I mean, so my husband designs the stores, and we just did not want that boudoir, the chandelier and the flock purple. It was like so plaid and sexy time. And I'm like, do that in your own. That's fine. We're going to offer you an experience. You're intelligent. You're a mature woman. You have a mature partner who appreciates you, who you are, and of course enjoys the sensual things in your body, how it is. And so I'm really happy that was conveyed to you.
Yeah. I mean, that was one of the things, besides the fact that you had such a fantastic assortment of gorgeous bras that I could actually wear. It was the experience.
Oh, yeah.
And that in many different areas of life, I feel is so missing, but particularly an experience for women to feel loved and welcomed and safe this is an exploration in, hey, what bra is going to work for you, which in general, I think is a torturous process. I mean,
it's funny. People say that because, of course, and this is what I'm trying to change. You're brought there at the most vulnerable time, puberty. and and so everything is torturous at that time. So if you have even the most mediocre experience, it's going to brand you, and not to mention a terrible experience. And we have women who come, they're in their 50s, 60s, and they could not walk through the door because of what had happened. And it's a lot that has to go on. It's, getting into the bra that fits well, that you like, is the last step on what is going on there. And to me, it's kind of the least interesting, I would say. I'm not a saleswoman. I know people who like sales as their art form and they just love it. I'm fascinated in that. Like, numbers is not my art form, but I love people. And so again, selfishly, the experience is really what I'm interested in. That's why, we don't sell our bras online, because I don't want to run a warehouse.
Right.
That's another experience. That's great, for some people, but that's not what I want to do with my life. I want to meet women. I want to talk to them. I want to learn from them. And then, of course, have great, beautiful objects,
And so, okay, the bra you're saying is like the last part of the experience. So
they come in thinking it's the first part. Yeah, that's the interesting thing.
So yeah, share more about that, because I think that's so important and also therapeutic about what I'm gathering you're about to share.
Yeah, no, it's interesting because I was just at, I just went and got my nails done, and I love going to the nail salon. You have all these women from different backgrounds, socioeconomic classes and races, and it's this women's space, and I love the conversation that starts up. Like, oh, I love that color, and those spaces are so important. The hair salon, it happens, and I do you remember Loman's?
Sure.
Okay, so Loman's is this place where I guess they gave cash to designers, and that's why they got that's why they had all of the things cheaper, is because at the end of the season, needing in a cash crunch, Loman's would pay in cash to the designers to give you these beautiful things. That's kind of how their business model. But the main thing of their business model, if you ever went there and it's no longer in business, was the communal dressing room.
Yes.
Of which, and they had a couple of private doors, but the whole experience was you walked in there and there was all of womanhood in their underwear. And at first you're just like, oh, and you do it, and you all of a sudden you start to see, oh, that really beautiful thin girl, she has cellular. Oh, the older lady. Women would come over to you of all different ages. Oh, darling, oh my God, you look amazing. If I had a tush like you, if I'd realized, if I appreciated it and that sort of experience, you need that. And that's where the bra store used to be. That was a woman's space, just like how the barbershop is, especially in the Black community. Yes, you're there to get your haircut, but you move down the seat and the older men speak to the younger men. And when I latched on that, and that's what I was doing, and that is the importance of it, and that this space has disappeared. Ida retired, moved to Vegas. All that Victoria's Secret, took over and I was just like, aside from now I can finally get a bra that fits for myself, I was going to bring back this space corner by corner. That was my mission.
So great. And now, speaking, because you have six.
Four in Los Angeles, 2 in Atlanta.
Wait, what? So there's hold on, there's the West LA, there's the original on Melrose in Hollywood, there's Burbank,
and there's Old Pasadena.
Oh, that's the only one in LA I haven't been to.
That was our second one.
Oh, okay.
It's really sweet. It's in the same kind of like an old row of shops, old shops with other little.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we always try to. It's getting harder and harder these days, but we find old, pre-gentrified neighborhoods, although those don't exist anymore, and find an old row of shops, and then my husband, builds it out and makes it look like our brand, how we do, which looks kind of like we find these old casement windows, and we make spaces so it kind of looks like an old factory, and you go inside. So
amazing, yeah. The spaces are gorgeous, and I'm curious about adult women, because clearly when a young pubescent or gal going through puberty goes in, that's one situation. But women who are in their 30s and 40s and 50s who are coming in like,
that's our core customer, 30 to 50. If someone says, who's your core, what's your core age? And I always say it's like 30 to 55,
Okay. And what do you find is their main concern? Or like a hang up, if you will.
Oh, hang up. Oh, oof. I mean, they're the crazy. And everybody has that. You know what? Everyone has their own. It's interesting. All bra fitters, like I know the word for back fat in every language, I believe. And I swear to God, because I'm very interested in history and social economics and marketing, and like when did that term appear in the lexicon?
Back fat?
Mm-hmm. I want to find this because, marketing, it's always they move this thing to make women feel bad about themselves and then solve this problem. And I'm like, it's like you have a back, there's fat, there's tissue on it, flesh. A bra is supported 90% by the band, which has to be snug to the ribs so it won't fall off. And if your tissue is softer and there's science, but somehow it's been made a problem. Same thing. I think there was. It's a dog.
If you can all hear that, Lola's in the studio and she's dreaming probably about.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, she's probably dreaming about bras now.
But there's all these little things that I think that I'm trying to think for the woman from 30 to 50. Sometimes, the surprising thing is you put them into there was such a decimation of the bra industry and actual bras for, I can go into all the different reasons, that the American woman so many have never worn a proper, well-fitted bra that looks beautiful. So when you actually put it on, for the first time, you say, oh, this is just a fit. They just like, oh my God, what? It's like their whole world is just like, I don't understand. This, why, how, what, so it's like if you'd never, I sort of like it. It's a little bit less over the 15 years because now things have moved, but it's like if shoes had only been made in small, medium, and large, and you just were like, well, that's what a shoe is. And, if you slid around a little bit here and then you discovered shoes, you went to Europe and they came in actual size and you'd be like, what
is going on?
And that really is what it is, how it is.
Yeah. And so I'm gathering that you come up with a lot of sort of self-denigrating women when they're trying on bras and, you brought a back fat. And are there women that come in and are just feeling confident about themselves?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's everyone is different. Everyone is different in size, how they were brought up, their background, their ethnicity, their culture they come from. Again, I'm like, I'm an anthropologist here. Different cultures have a different attitude about their body, about shape. So many women have, how things should be, like their rules for themselves. And then I guess it's very much like therapy. You say, oh, so I need beige. That's the big, American thing. It has to be beige, And you say, oh, you're wearing, because it has to disappear. It has to disappear under my shirt. Oh, okay. So you're wearing a white, no, you wear white. No, I don't wear white. So it has to be beige. You ask the question why, and they go, oh, you know what? Because I said, did you know that, well, first of all, red disappears under white.
Which that was news to me, by the way. I learned that from you.
I know, isn't that insane?
It's wild.
On every skin tone.
Wild.
From the darkest to the lightest. It's different shades of red. And of course, if your white shirt is like, see-through.
Right.
But there's something, it's amazing. And it's our magic trick. And then it's like, look, you can be wearing a secret red bra and wear whatever color you want. Do whatever. This is there's not a rule. There's no rules in what you should wear. There are rules on how a bra lifts and supports. But you don't have if you want a natural, in quotes, shape, you just don't wear a bra because that's your natural shape. You know, I mean, there's
Which, you know, what's interesting. I just had this before we started recording. I was sharing with you about my mother and how I had moved her recently into assisted living and so on and so forth. And she's taken to not wanting to wear a bra. Now, she's well endowed, and they're different sizes, as you know, left and right, like as most of us are at this point in her life. They're more exaggerated in terms of how low one is than the other. And when I go visit, I'm trying to encourage her to put her bra on, you know? And I found myself, I was talking with a girlfriend and she said, are we just like feeding into the patriarchy here about, you know, you telling your mom to put on a bra? Like, why should we wear a bra? Which got me thinking, okay, why do I wear a bra? And why am I feeling like I need my mother to wear a bra? And I was just almost feeling concerned for her. Maybe I was like,
well, you have to ask why. I mean, men are attracted to breasts. There's nothing you can do to obscure the male gaze as much as young third wave feminists think. It is impenetrable. No matter how much hair you got under your arms or how you've bent yourself over, or the sneer, you know, like that. So there is something where, do you want a certain person to be distracted? I'm not saying every man is a sexual predator, although of course there is. But so there's that, or the recognition of someone other than yourself. Doesn't mean that that is supreme over your wants, but it's the recognition of that. I would say to the not wearing a bra, because when I'm home, I don't wear a bra, or I have these t-shirts that they're cotton t-shirts, but they have such a compression. They're really great. They're not bralettes. I hate bralettes myself. I don't wear bralettes. I either wear the best bra I have, which I am wearing right now, and then I go home just like a pair of stilettos. I kick them off, and I'll take my bra off. Yeah. And if someone else is coming over, let's say, you know, it depends how I feel about, you know.
Yeah. I think, look, we do need to do what makes us feel comfortable. Yeah. I just was fascinated by my reaction. Right. Of going, Mom, put a bra on.
Maybe concerned about being sexual or lies or...
A little bit, but also, you know, I think for me, my mother has always been such an elegant woman, supremely elegant, very similar, you know, to you in terms of immigrant parents and, you know, that European flair and so on and so forth. And to see my beautiful, lovely mother with older woman, which is fine. Everything, gravity takes its hold, but
a different look.
Well, a different look, but I mean, I'm not trying, you know, okay, I don't need to sugarcoat it, but, you know, just a saggy-breasted, like, old lady.
Schlumpy.
Right, like, walking around with her boobs down to below her waist, and going to dinner with her friends in a shirt that might be a little too tight, you know? And so that was it was much more of a conventional, I think, ego-based concern for her.
I know what you mean. I mean, we all grow up, but you know, I know exactly what you mean when, you know, certainly when your parents get older. But I always just say it depends where you're going, how you're feeling. Is it, you know, if you don't want to wear a bra, you don't have to. I mean, I guess if you're teaching in a middle school, probably, you know what I'm saying? I mean, this is you got to live in the real world.
Yes,
you know? Yes,
there is that. Well, and again, grateful for beautiful, gorgeous bras, of which I have many from your store.
I hate when women say, "I hate them," you know, or "I hate myself." You know, you know, there's a certain, that they feel that it's an oppressive thing. They haven't, it's the same feeling that when I was a tomboy. I was an absolute tomboy, had my hair cut short. I was raised by my father. I had a brother. I was very good at sports. I always wanted to do I only had boyfriend. You know, for what my reasons, but it was about agency. It wasn't like I was a boy inside of me. All my, you know, I pretend to be were boys because they did cool things. That was just and then to my chagrin, at least as far to my idea of myself, I got these huge boobs as a young, I was that, and got whistled at and all, that how it is. It's like if you developed early, it's like, well, I guess childhood's over. There's that huge thing that happens to young girls who develop early, and that's a big reason why I opened the store, because of course you're like but there was something that clicked in me. Apart from the fact, like, I got to change the way I look. I've got to change my my archetype because it's not working with the boobs. And I was like, okay, what I want to be is strong and powerful, and hiding my chest and being ashamed. They're the ones who should be ashamed of themselves, the guys who whistle at me. And I was like, I am playing into them by hiding myself.
You got that as a young teenager?
I did.
Wow.
I don't know how it happened because, like I said, I was completely tomboy.
Right.
I couldn't believe that I was not going to be a flat-chested, person.
Surprise,
yeah. And I just thought, who are busty women that are powerful and have agency?
Who are some busted?
I know
besides you and me.
And that was that was the problem. And this is what I also see. It's not powerful to hide. I feel like if you embrace who you are and embrace yourself, I don't know. I love Jenna Rollins. Mm-hmm. That was my. I'm just trying to think, Busty. I love
Oprah.
Jenna. It was Janis Joplin. Mm-hmm. I don't know if she was busty. I don't think she was busty. I'm trying to think. You didn't wear bras in those days. But I do remember this idea of like, I have really curly hair, Jewish girl. And in the 70s, I was telling one of my young employees, there was a commercial where a girl she was blonde, of course, but she had my hair all curly and she looked into the mirror and she gasped and she went, ew, the frizzies. And then they fixed it for her by making her hair straight. Mm-hmm. So talk about getting a mess. So, we all straightened our hair and, wrapped it around our head and did all of that stuff and, and had to be straight and Farrah Fawcett. And it kind of worked. It didn't work. And then I think the change, at least with my hair, was I had swimming first period. And I thought, oh, my life is over. My life is over.
Yes.
And then I got out of the shower and the pool, the whole thing, and my hair was like, ugh. And people started saying, "Ooh, that's interesting. You kind of look like a hippie, like a Janis, And I was like, oh, change my style.
Right. I can be curly.
Quick.
Yeah.
So it's all kind of about, no, this is me. This is my style. This is my body. This is my life. The fact that if someone was whistling at me and I just walked with my head high, didn't shudder, showed no fear, who has the power? Me.
That's a very big concept to get, I think, as a young teen.
It's a very big I know it is. Yeah, it is because I think about this thing all the time. About that idea of who you are and what you look like and young teenage girls and the pain they go through and misogyny and all those sort of different things and what they do to themselves. And either you go from one you go both two different of the pendulum. You go, now I'm going to be like out there and it's not my body, or I'm going to like hide it and then it's not my body. It's like, no, they're yours. And that's what I always say to them. These are yours. Mm-hmm. You show them who's boss.
I love it. Be the boss with your breasts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm the boss. These are mine and I own them and I'm, Mm-hmm. And if I say you may touch them, okay.
Right.
But that's that's me.
Yes, my choice.
And if you look at them, you're damn right they.
Yeah.
I got a cracking pair of tits, as I heard some English
cracking pair of tits.
Cracking pair of tits. My favorite expression now.
Never heard that before. That's fantastic. I'm always like, oh, you got a great rack.
Yeah.
Like, how did they become a rack? Like, where did that phrase come from?
The shelf with books. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, shelf, rack. Oh,
A rack?
Okay.
A rack of lamb? I have no idea.
So bizarre. Certain phrases.
Yeah.
I love. Okay, so one of the other things that I loved that you've incorporated, and I'm curious how you got inspired by this, is the more sort of kink, BDSM-ish line of accoutrements and lingerie because you brought that on 4 years ago.
Yep, it was 2009. I remember we had a big did you come to that show that we did?
I was sadly out of town. It made me sick to my stomach that I missed that. I had friends that were there.
Yeah, it's funny. We filmed it, but it happened right before the pandemic, so it was like October 2019. So we've never cut this stuff together.
Oh, I know where I was. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, the shop is always, the way we displayed the bras when we first opened, I thought, okay, we couldn't afford mannequins, and I didn't like the mannequins, and we held old dress, forms. And then I thought bras, and you can't hang a bra on a hanger. It doesn't look real. And then I was like, where does a bra go? I was like, it's thrown over a lamp. And then I was like, yes, that's hysterical. We're going to get old lamps, and we're going to throw the bras over them to display them.
Yeah.
So there was always that, sex underneath it. So when people would ask, oh, do you sell lingerie? And I'm like, well, we sell bras, because in the word lingerie in France, it means anything you wear under your clothes. It doesn't mean sex wear or kink wear, as we call it. But I discovered this brand, this is years ago, in London, called Bordel. And it's handmade, and it's based on these straps, and it kind of reminded me of the old girdles. It had like an old girdle material, and they've been around now for, I guess, I'm sure longer than I have, and very high end, 24 karat gold plated thing, just really quality stuff. Because I didn't want to sell, trash that you could buy that's fine, but well made, and you can wear it with bras. You can. It's like an art. You can wear it with your outerwear.
Right.
Yeah. I loved their artwork and their photography and all of that. So yeah. So we had I had kind of researched all the higher end kink wear from leather makers in Italy. There's different brands that occupy the higher end space. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. That had to have been fun research.
Oh yeah.
Yeah? Or is it just like, okay.
No, it's great. I mean, Instagram and but we decided to do Bordel as opposed to, I forget, there was one called the Model Trader, corsetry, corsets, leather, different things. We took it very slowly. So we started with Bordel, and then.
Yeah. And that's a very particular type of, quote, lingerie in terms of our American speak, right? Lingerie that not everybody would be expecting. And how is it received within the community?
Interesting question. It definitely was received well. We launched it with a big dance. We have had 2 huge launches in the 15 years, because they kill us, so we don't do that often, where we do this whole piece of theater where there's dancers, and and so it was very successful, and it was wonderful. And it's a difficult brand for my customer in that their sizing is not big enough. They do extra large. They do go up. They did expand to extra large. However, it's a pretty small extra large. So most of my customers, we can't really buy the bras, the kind of bondage type bras, because it's such a limited. So we more specialize in their harnesses and their leg garters and those little things you can add to sort of spice up what you already own.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, people love it because it's very creative. It's incredibly creative to kind of take their things and kind of add it to what you own.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that, because I think
do you have one of the pieces?
I don't have one of the pieces, which is so wrong. So anybody listening who wants to just go to any of the Jenette stores and send me a gift, please do. But I because I thought it was a really interesting choice when you added that. I was thrilled because I just love anything in that realm. I like to either look at it or have it myself in my life. But I just thought, oh, good. There's more opening. There's more conversation. There's more availability around non-conventional sexual pleasure or things that could support that vibe and that look.
Right.
Like that to me, I thought it was a great choice.
Well, it was we were trying to figure out what other category to bring in because our stores, we curate them very specifically, and a lot has to do with our space. Our spaces are in major cities, so the stores are smaller, and so we have bras, we have swimwear, and we're looking for maybe one more category. I was like, loungewear, pajamas, that just never did it. So I was like, maybe some kink wear and the bondage, just the style of their, it's called luxury bondage, is based on the old-fashioned thick elastic straps of the old girdles. So there was something right there that was absolutely worked with what we were trying to do.
Yeah,
so
it does.
I'm glad you appreciate it.
Yeah, it really does fit with the brand. I mean, the Jenette brand.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you were also the only person that I knew, I think, in the States when you first opened that carried the brand that I found.
Marley's Deckers.
In London, yes, Marley's Deckers.
Is that what you said? That was the other big dance opening thing we did.
I love Marley's.
It was great. It's unfortunately they changed as she sold it, and I guess she's still sort of the figurehead, but it's not. Unfortunately, it's not. We don't carry it anymore.
It's not as interesting. I feel like, yeah.
Well, and I guess it's not as interesting. I mean, when a creator, has to sell, and if she has to sell under duress, business wise things. To a corporation and all that, quality goes down, the artistic thing, if everything gets kind of watered down, but then there's also a time for everything. I mean, when she first brought it out, the strappy with the visible straps, architectural, she did it as an art project I think it was 20 years ago. She went to the I don't know, it's called the Art Institute of Rotterdam, and this was her final project. Yeah, it was an art student.
Oh, wow.
And she created this as her art project. So it was so, no one had seen it. And now, of course, the trends go and, everybody's doing it.
Everybody's doing it now,
so
It's
there's a time for everything.
It's the beautiful, for all those of you who are listening, it's the straps that are on the top part, right, of the breast, basically. Right. So it's like a little extra to the bra, and it gives...
interest.
Yeah, interest. It's not jewelry. I mean,
we kind of sometimes call it that. It would in the her other stuff they used to have it went down the back.
I have one of those.
Oh my God, yeah. I can't believe I wore this other one to the ground, but it was fantastic.
Yeah, really great stuff. I mean, I have all of the pieces of hers that
I
I bought.
remember that. Yeah.
I was like, do you have any Marleys?
I know.
And she barely made it to fit my size.
Right. She expanded to a G.
I know, which was hard to find.
Right. She was only up to an F, and then she expanded to a G on certain styles. Right. Yeah, no, And
I appreciate, and I also just appreciate that because I think I discovered her in London in 2009, and it was like, oh, okay, I could wear something lower cut that I might not have been before, and now it looks... Yes, it's sexy, but it also looks a little artistic, right? And it helped me also to just accept my, cleavage, breasts, and feel more confident, quote, showing them in a way that, I don't know, just felt less... less vulnerable almost. It was bizarre.
Yeah, I mean, it's very intentional. That's what I was thinking. It's
great word. It's intentional.
If you're doing something, make it intentional.
Yes.
And I really enjoyed when I said, the architecture. She based her original bra. It's called the Dame de Paris, which is based on Notre Dame. And it's like the arches of Notre Dame. And I'm just fascinated in her. I forget where I first saw it. I guess obviously on the internet. And I remember thinking, oh my God. And I remember trying to call and trying to get the account and try to find what was going on. And she always did really interesting collections. They were based on certain things, and yeah.
It's fun. So you travel often also to the lingerie shows and
Paris.
right. Did you also go to Italy?
Yeah, I went to and I went to Florence. We went to a show in Florence in February. Where are we?
And so I'm curious about the difference, if any. I believe that there is, but of women's sensuality, women's sense of themselves and their bodies in these different countries.
Oh God, absolutely. It's so interesting. Wow. So there is such a distinction between the American woman, the Canadian woman, the English woman, the French. I mean, we see all those, French style and things like that. Well, in France, as far as, and I'm talking about specifically lingerie. I mean, lingerie, that is a core tradition to their country. Laces and the machine. I mean, it's an art form, more than an art form. It's, I don't know the word I'm trying to think. It's their tradition, and it's serious business. And so when you go to the show in Paris, which is the biggest one, there are men in suits and with serious and with notebooks, and there's all of these beautiful women in underwear, the models going around, and they're writing their orders because they are looking at the laces, because they know their customer also knows, oh, this is guipure, and guipure comes from, and so they have an understanding that goes way back, especially with lace, and so the idea of that a woman, like an American woman, would say, well, first of all, that she wants beige, and they would go, like I remember some man goes, you mean like this color? I said, yeah. Why? You know what I mean? It was like he and I was like, it's very hard, because he kept saying, but why? So they it is this beautiful piece of clothing that is worn under your clothing. So the fact that it's a white lace bra under a white shirt, they wear that. That's very much so. You see it, of course, In Italy, the difference what I saw in Italy was very interesting. There's not a huge difference, but I do know because of the textile industry. That's where Italy, it's the textiles and the fabrics. So you see the women around there wearing these amazing, Missoni, and they love the textiles and more bright colors. And so the show there was very, very textile heavy. They're not really known for their corsetry, they call it, the bra making. They're not, La Perla, although it's not owned by the family anymore, was Italian, but aside, there's, what's the name of that company? There's a very small company whose things are beautiful. But yeah, no, they're known for their textiles.
And the women, do you see like the Italian women are more comfortable in their bodies or than the French women, or is that anything that you experienced?
I was in Florence, and yeah, I absolutely think so. I mean, Italians are, they're definitely a little more comfortable, but the French, they have a more classic, definitely classic, but that lingerie is it's a language there.
Yeah, that's actually where I got my first proper lingerie. My college boyfriend is French and took me to Paris, for the first time I'd ever been there.
Poupée Codole?
That name doesn't sound familiar to me, but it was some other famous...
Chantal Thomas.
There you go.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I loved Chantal
Yes.
Thomas. She also just sold her company, so...
Wait, but there was one other...
So see, it was Poupée Codole is like, she was one of like the first, and Chantal Thomas. God, there's so many.
I feel like it was a male name, but anyhow, I remember it just being this exciting experience, and it was all that lace, and I just remember the feeling of special and sexy and elevated,
right?
Like I have my own little secret now that I get to share, with him. But yeah, there's something about exploring lingerie in an intimate way that opened up a sense of confidence in me.
And it's for adults. Like that's a thing I notice about, and when I'm in France or I'm in Italy, is that older couples, and when I say older, like in their 50s, or they are walking with their arms around each other. She's dressed well. There's still this idea that they are a physical couple with each other. They're holding hands. You know, it's there's something adult about their sexuality, and here in the United States so much, you know, it's all about the teenager and the young and the 20. I mean, which is fine and everything, but we kind of go like, goodbye, you know, right. You disappear, you know, the invisibility of the, you know, the middle-aged woman. But I don't see it as much, you know, obviously there is, but no, I always notice that. I go, wow, she's dressed really well, and she's carrying herself, and he's admiring of her, and got his arm all on her lower back, and you know.
Are do you have a lot of clients that will come in and say, okay, I have a hot date, or I want to you know get some.
Absolutely. There was one yesterday. I was over at one of our stores, and there was, in one of the dressing rooms, there was a woman, and she was a young woman, you know, and she was definitely, actually, in the day before also, she was actually older. You know, it was going to be a command performance, as I call it. She was looking for a command. And so her fitter, they were having a really wonderful time choosing the bra with the underwear, and which ones had possibly a waist cincher that went with it. And it was just really fun.
Yeah.
Okay. That's we love that.
Yes.
Finding the bra and the underwear and the whole, you know, that you look good and you look confident, and that he will enjoy, and all of those things.
Yeah. And is it difficult to be trained to be a bra fitter?
It takes a while. It absolutely. The reason it takes, well, we fit by the eye. So we don't use a tape measure. Tape measure is like a substitution that was for what we do. So, and the reason we fit by the eye is a tape measure you could put it around your rib cage, and you would get you get that measurement, except of course that measurement's on a piece of elastic, and each brand's elastic is made differently and sewn. But by the eye, you can recognize it, and then you look. But then you're looking at proportion of shoulder width to where the breasts sit, to just the height of the woman, different things, where her neck is, the waist, all the proportions. So there's that training that just is by experience. And then there is the stock. So we carry, you know, multi-brands and they're all different. They fit different. Each style fits differently. And so understanding and knowing, like in your mind, it's like a computer. It takes a while. Sometimes the new gals think, I will never get this. And then they're like, I'm dreaming about bras. I can't get it out of my head. And you're looking at people on the street, and you're like, I think she's a 40. And, you know, so their head has to be this computer filled with the stock when they're looking at the woman. And then there is the personal aspect of understanding how to speak to a 14-year-old girl who hates her body, how to work your way through the psychological issues that come up. So, but it's a wonderful profession.
It really is incredible. And the other thing that you do that is, I think, so fantastic is you participate in this incredible charity event. Oh, about the prom.
Glamour. It's called Glamour Gowns.
Glamour Gowns.
Yeah, Glamour Gowns. We've been doing it for, with I guess 12 years. There was they didn't do it during the pandemic, but it's through CASA, LA, which is Court Appointed Special Advocates for Children. And it's the children who are in the court system, and they've been living in foster care or just taken away from their family of origin, and they have their advocate. And the Glamour Gowns portion was started by, I guess, some women there who realized that, kids in foster care, the foster parents have a stipend, and they don't spend, they're not going to spend it on the unessentials, which is prom. Who needs to go to prom? And then they feel even more out of. So we supply the undergarments, like David Bridal years have supplied the gowns, and Chinese Laundry does the shoes, and there's jewels, and then my fitters fit the girls on the day, and my clients volunteer. They come to help be the dressers for all the young women, and now young men. There's a it's called Suit Up.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, it's really. Have you done one of?
I was scheduled to do it this year, and I came down with a nasty cold.
Oh yeah,
which was very upsetting. But I very much look forward to doing it next year.
Yeah, no, it's a lot, but it's very. I love doing it.
And what inspired you to do this specifically?
I wanted to again kind of focus on a very specific thing, and my family my grandmother was a foster mother to many of my father's brothers and sisters, and same thing with her sister, and so my family's made up of adopted and fostered children. And so I was very aware of the needs and the challenges of a child that comes out and lives with a family.
Yeah.
And the need for that. So I where did I hear about? Oh, I know, it was Michaela Pereira. She was they did this when I first opened the store. They did a special on KTLA 5.
Yeah.
And the newswoman was Michaela Pereira. She's quite, curvy.
Yeah.
And I remember, and one day she walked into the store, and I was like, I was hoping you'd walk in. We started chatting, and she mentioned, I forget what it was, but my grandpa, she said, oh, I'm adopted. And I said, oh my God, two of my children are adopted as well. And she mentioned she was the MC.
Okay.
And so she was the one who told me about it, because I said, oh, who does the bras? And she goes, we don't have anyone who
does bras.
Yeah. So I was like, I'll do it. I had no idea how I was going to do it.
I love it.
But now what we do is so every time you buy a strapless bra, here's the pitch for coming to my store.
Yes.
I forgot. Yeah, I finally got to it. Well, every time a strapless bra is purchased, we take the net profit from the strapless bra from all our stores, and then that will be at the end of the year. We do the math, and that's the budget. So we use that. That money's earmarked.
Yeah.
We did have fundraisers and did that kind of thing. We did a few of those, but I was just like, you know what? Why don't we just do that? So some years we have more money, some years we have less, and then our brands who know we do this, so they will give me a good price, so our money stretches as far as it can.
Oh, that's great.
So it's always, sometimes they donate them, sometimes they say, here, and then we, it's great.
I think it's so fabulous. And also it's like clearly your passion, but specifically now knowing just also about your family and also, but your experience, similar to mine, just the embarrassment of like dealing with the first bra and all the rest of this. And these kids are dealing with so much already.
Can you imagine?
And I think, I say this often, and it never ceases to amaze me, that all of the things that we go through in our lives really end up for a purpose and for a reason. Even also the challenge. It's like, look at some of the challenge that you went through when you were a teen, and you've turned that into some of that, like the theme and the underpinning of that, if you will,
exactly,
literally into this gorgeous business that helps to transform that.
I know. I never had thought about. I mean, the idea of opening the business was a complete my going. At 40, I think I forget what it was. I was in a lot of these films, Aliens and Terminator 2, and I go to these fan conventions, which I love, and I sign autographs, and I love doing that. I'm doing a bunch this fall, and I was in London doing a convention, and it was at a mall, very, very glamorous, of course.
Yes, of course.
And somebody said, this was in 2008, I guess, someone said, oh, there's this store that has bras, and it's specifically for larger breasts, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, at my lunch break, I was like, I'm going there. And like how I say their minds are blown. My mind was blown. It was blown. I was like, oh my God. This is the most beautiful bra. It's not like a bread bowl of this foam. And it's, I couldn't, I even wrote in the book, you should open up in the United States or what. And on the plane home, I couldn't stop talking about it with my husband and like, why don't they open one in the U.S.? Or why doesn't somebody do this why doesn't somebody? And he said, why don't we do it? Famous last words.
Oh my gosh.
He regrets it to this day. Yeah, he was like, and it was just like, well, we don't, does when I look at the tag, and I see the maker and I Google maybe, and I find a phone number and I call him up in England. And I mean, that's just kind of what I do. He never thought, he just, he's the artist and just kind of goes, we should do it one day.
Yes.
And I was like, I've got someone on the phone where I'm going to Las Vegas. It was just, if you had your first question, if we had known about it, would we have done it? And no, there was so much ignorance is bliss. But I grew up with a dad who's like, the public library is the shrine.
Yes.
City college and the public library.
Oh my gosh.
You can get anything you want there. And I would just check out books, try to learn about what a balance sheet was, learn about this. But the thing is, it was me. I was my customer. And that was it. And because I knew, I was like, yeah, it was expensive, but you know what? I would go anywhere, pay anything, and to find a person who didn't bullshit me, told me the truth. Yeah, of course I would. This is the one item. I mean, there's other items, that I feel like, a t-shirt, I could maybe get at Goodwill and it might look kind of funky. But I was like, oh no, this is the one thing I'm spending my money on. And that was the thing, was like, I'm going to guess that other large-breasted women will also do that.
Well, you definitely 6 stores later.
I know.
Something's working.
Something's working. Yeah.
Something's working. Oh my gosh. And I'm so grateful for you for that and so many other things. But it's like you've given so many women, I think, as they say in The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, right? Tits up.
Yes. And Alex Borstein, she's I don't tell tales, but if you see any well-endowed, curvy actress in Hollywood, we definitely...
You do, yeah. I remember I texted you because I was watching Firefly Lane, and I was like,
oh, you saw
that? I was like, that's Jenette Bras. I'm like, I think I have that bra too. And you're like, yes, we fit.
Yeah, I know. Women flash me all around town when I go to the market. Somebody will look at me and then they go, oh, and then there's my strap. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yes.
Art openings, people flash their bras. But yeah, it is fun to look at movies and go, oh yes, we fit her. That's our
We did that.
We did that.
Exactly. Well, thank you for keeping my tits up.
Keeping you upright since 2009.
Yes.
That's
oh my gosh.
motto.
And by the way, grateful because also after I got bras from you, people are like, did you lose weight? And I'm like, no, you can just see my waist.
It's so true. It changes. I mean, the look. Yeah. I mean, that's our thing, because a lot of times people will be like, I can't spending this kind of money on something nobody sees. And we go, just because they can't see it doesn't mean it doesn't show.
Right.
But how you feel.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I will put on, even though I know it's just the bra, if I put on a bra that doesn't fit anymore, or, and I just all of a sudden start to feel bad about it. And I put, like today I'm wearing a new bra.
Yes.
I didn't even think about that. But I was like, oh, it feels so good.
It feels good. It does. And you have a good range in terms of what is available at the store.
Oh yeah, we start.
Price-wise and, and
yeah, I mean, we are on the higher end because it's a quality object. And some old guy taught me, he said, you can compete on 3 things. No, there are 3 things you can compete on. Pick 2: price, quality, and service. Just pick 2. You can only, so I was like, okay, it's quality and service. That's you can't have 3.
I can't believe I haven't asked you this yet. What is the best way to take care of our bras?
Oh.
Why have we not talked about this?
Absolutely.
I'm so glad it came to me before.
Well, you want to, there's a couple of things. There's, first of all, you want to give it a rest, because the most important part of the bra is the band. The band is made of elastic, and once elastic loses its life, it doesn't snap back. So you want to cycle through. So you wear a bra 2 days in a row, and then let it rest for 2 days. So that, doing the math, it could be 3 bras. You want to have at least 3 bras for the week. And one could be a sports bra if that's for in the weekend. That way its life will last longer. But as far as washing, we just say hand wash, cold water. There's specific lingerie soaps like, Soak and Forever New. You can use baby shampoo. Just don't use detergent, and don't use Woolite, because Woolite is for woolens. And that's people like, oh, you're right, because it coats the fibers.
Right.
And that's
when it feels sort of sticky.
Well,
afterwards,
it's I forget what it is, but it's great for sweaters and those kind of fabrics, but you don't want to use it for lingerie.
And so no in a lingerie bag, like on Delicate Cycle? No? Okay.
It's so much faster just to do it in the sink. I mean, we have one product, like I said, it's called Soak. You put it in the sink and you don't even have to rinse it. I'm like, how does that work? You know what I mean? Or you can wear. We tell teenagers, wear it in the shower with you. Put it in the shower where you have baby shampoo and do, but.
Better
and then you just, obviously you don't put it in the dryer. You just press it on a towel. You press it to get the heavy moisture, and then you just hang it over, the shower thing, and it just air dries, and it'll kind of snap back up, and that's the best way to take care of it.
And when do we know it's time to get new bras?
You'll feel it. What you want to do is when you buy a bra, you want it to fit on the loosest set of hooks or the middle one. But and that's because as the band will inevitably stretch, and it'll stretch faster depending on how large your breasts are, because that's physics. You move it in. I always say go for a check in a year, just because our bodies change anyway. We have the bras that we sell, depending on, the thing about the bra, do you ever see any advertising? You'll never see an advertisement hardly ever for our bras. I wish the brands would advertise. They spend all their money on the bra themselves. So the price of the bra, it goes into the bra. So the bras that are $200 will last longer than the bras that are $100. It's very hard to make a good bra for under $100. Just like a running shoe. It's a technical garment. So I always say, they should last. They will last like maybe a couple of years, but depending on your body, go in for a check. There's no charge for seeing how things are fitting
and how hard you wear it.
Yeah,
same thing. It's
somebody. If you're like the interesting thing I'll tell you under the counter, we do have A, B, and C. Even though we say the alphabet starts at D, and that is our slogan.
Yes.
I was not aware, because that's not that those more lightly bosomed sisters out there also wanted something of good quality. And so we do, because a lot of our manufacturers obviously do make B and C as well. Some don't. Some only do, D and above. So we carry that as well. And we also carry a brand called the Little Bra Company, which is really fascinating. She's a woman from South Pasadena. She's local. And she makes bras for not small busted, but also tiny framed. She's Asian. So if you think about
yes.
And they're, so it's interesting. She said, yeah, I found that they just didn't, even an A cup didn't work because it was made for not an Asian one, or smaller framed. And so she has a very specific lane she's in, and we're friends. And so I was like, yeah, you know what? That really fits in. So we're one of I think the only stockists in Los Angeles that carries, where you can go and try them on. So we do have our A, B, and C, but we just kind of, and this way you can bring your daughter in and your friends and things like that.
Yeah, I love that. And the other thing I love, by the way, which we will link up in the show notes, is your Underwire newsletter. Comes out once a month.
Oh, yes.
There are very few newsletters I actually enjoy reading. Most I'll just scan. I love reading your newsletter because it's always, your writing is fun and personable, and I learn more about you and your family, and also, of course, what's going on. And then I get to see what, sexy, fabulous pieces you're featuring that month.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So there's a link in the show notes. So
good,
recommend signing up for that.
Yeah, that would be really good. We started it, the month before the pandemic, which, like, hey, well, how if you read your diary before, you're like, 2020, it's going to manifest everything. And we're like, woo, it's only up here from the next one is like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So it's this incredible, all the if you if you do have nothing to do in your life, you could read all of them. They're on our website, on the section says news.
Okay.
So it's all there in order.
So there you go.
The 3 years of them, because it does go through what happens, the crisis in the world, and different things. The first part of it is a personal essay, and that's where that does. And then there's like a company news and things like that. But it traces all of I look at it and I'm like, oh, I don't want to read this.
That's very interesting. Actually, I mean, that could be kind of like compiled into an interesting book, frankly.
We have definitely thought of that.
Yeah.
This has crossed our minds, yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, I could talk to you for a long, long time. And I'm going to ask you the 2 signature questions of the show. And I encourage you, whatever the answer kind of flies through, because there are many answers, share that one, like the one that just first comes. So of all the things, what is one thing that will always tune you into your spirit or higher self?
Oh, interesting. You know what? I love laying on my back and stretching. And I love lifting weights. I've done this as a little girl. I was a gymnast, but I mean, I am someone who I just cannot do yoga. I cannot meditate. But I do lay and I stretch, and some lifting weights. It to me is very meditative, and it puts me in touch completely with my body and my muscles, my spine, my everything. There you go. There's my answer.
I love that. Yeah. And like all of a sudden, there you
like
just
strength and suppleness and that kind of idea. Strength, suppleness, and grace. Those are like the words that I think.
Grace. One of my favorite words. One of my teachers, Ram Dass, always said grace. Being in the grace.
Oh, just
love that. Okay, and then of all the things, what is one thing that will always turn you on?
My goodness. The first thing that came to my mind was my cats. I love my cats. I'm a big...
Pussy's a good thing.
I'm just saying. You said it. That is a great ending.
But yes, cats are awesome. And they get it.
Yeah. This
I love
is really
it.
fun.
Your cats. Oh my gosh, Jenette, I'm so glad you're here. Finally. And I'm just so glad that you took the leap, opened that first door. Yes. Thank you to you and your partner, and for continuing to spread the, alphabet starting at D in multiple cities now, and for all of us to benefit, and again, to be tits up. All right, everybody. It has been another phenomenal conversation here on The Real Undressed, and it is simply bye for now.